Hello, welcome to the 26th day of January 2026. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation, a live video broadcast exercise that I do every morning at 5:30 a.m. to recall, consider, and apply the values, the objectives and principles of my creed, going called the Good Life, which is described in my book, Going Alone, which you can read for free at goingalone.org goingalone.org. Thanks to the generosity of my YouTube patrons, YouTube members, and my Patreon supporters. Thank you. You all guys make it possible for that website to exist. I also use this video time to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with the interesting challenges, opportunities, and circumstances that I encountered throughout the day. I go over my creed and I prepare for the coming day. I do like to warn people that I often, pretty much daily, reflect on death, even if it's just briefly, my own death. It's my plans for death, my plans for approaching death, for being ready for death. So that's a better way to say it. And I do want to say a huge thank you again to my supporters. I do appreciate you. And by way of disclaimer, this is a journal entry, so you're welcome to leave comments. You're welcome to watch. As a journal entry, I'm free to have liberty to go anywhere I want, talk about anything I want for as little or as long as I want. You can leave comments and criticisms, which I will read at the end and respond to. Okay, let's look at the last 24 hours. I have three notes here in my notebook. It says peaceful, fun Sunday. Yesterday was Sunday. Today is Monday. Uh, no noteworthy challenges, and then in parentheses it says despite horror, and then a question. Third remark here: am I arriving? Interesting. So let's take all those three together. Yesterday was a Sunday. I spent the whole entire day with my wife having there was no radio exercise, so no morning, there's no radio exercise on Sunday, so I don't get together with my neighbors that day on those days. Instead, we had breakfast and we headed out. We took the dogs for a walk and we headed out after breakfast on and had a full day of antiquing. We went to the nearby city of Yaizu. Yumiko had found two beautiful antique stores that we had never seen before. We visited the first one, and the proprietor there, it was a strange looking place, a little warehouse out in some farmers' fields, and we weren't even sure the place was open. There was a cold winter wind blowing, and it looks like it was all shuttered, but it was in fact open. And the proprietress there, in fact, recognized me from an antique fair in Fuji City last autumn, and she called me, big brother, Oni-san, and she and I had a nice time, and they had quite a haul there. She had somehow acquired someone's library, English language library, and it was just the kind of books that I really like. Whole stacks of hardbound philosophy books, um, really great stuff. And I didn't buy any. I've got plenty of books to last me the rest of my life. And but I might go back and get a couple of those. There were some real titles there, and I let her know she had some winners. And it was really amazing to see literally an entire giant, table filled, stacked, 3 feet high with hardbound antique volumes in English. Amazing. Anyway, that wasn't the we were there for antiques, so we looked around, and it turns out that I found outside a bench that I wanted to get for the garden, and she loaded me up with all kinds of terracotta pots that she gave me for free. Two glazed umeboshi pots, which she gave me some water plants to put in it. Oh, I need to take care of that this morning. I got a hibachi, which I gave to my wife, and a few garden tools, and I came out of there for pretty good price. And we had a really nice time. She was a real character, and we're going to go back for a bigger festival, antique festival that she has there in the spring. We also then went to another antique store that we'd never been to. That was a really beautiful, curated place. We had a lovely lunch together. Yumiko and I we went to a restaurant called Sato, a chain restaurant that we hadn't been to since we came back from Japan. We had coffee. We got some snacks, and then we went to still one more antique store after that, and then we came home, had a long dog walk. Yoko joined us. She couldn't join us for the antiquing because she was at the hair salon all day. And so we went a long dog walk. And then after that, dinner, short dog walk, and bed. Good day. So my note here says peaceful, fun Sunday, no challenges whatsoever. It's just a lovely Sunday, the type of Sunday that Sundays deserve to be. And like I said, there were no noteworthy challenges throughout the day, despite the fact that the horror show continues back in the United States. Um, Reconnaissance throughout the weekend, carrying on, and discussions with my wife about it. But I've compartmentalized the horror in a way. It's in a place in my it exists in a room in my mind where I attend to the horror, and I carry on with the rest of my life at the same time. An interesting uh, capacity that I didn't really. I didn't know I had. Maybe it's arisen out of necessity in a way. It's conscious decision making to decide to not let the horror pervade the entirety of my life. Although I failed at that for the first month or so. This horror show has been going on since October, so for the first month or so, I failed utterly at that because the horror pervaded everything. But I think I've gotten past that. That's worth noting. That's worth noting that I've compartmentalized the horror. Hmm. Now, the last note here says, am I arriving? What I simply mean by that is, am I arriving in retirement? I've been leading up to this idea for the last couple of days. I seem to have reached an interesting place here on the 26th day of January, 13 months into retirement, where I seem to be getting to a peaceful place. The PEF, the peaceful, easy feeling that I began to feel in bits and pieces some months back before the horror began, has returned, but also so too a has departed some of the restlessness that I was feeling through all of this. What to do with myself in retirement, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm wondering if this is also has something to do with the fact that I've largely gone dark on social media and on YouTube, et cetera. I've found myself not really a content creator anymore, which was interesting because instead of being a content producer and sharer, I'm just living my life, and I'm noticing distinctly that that's the case. For example, the entire day spent yesterday with my wife doing so many fun things, and not a single urge to share any of it with anybody. Just to enjoy the time with my wife. Hmm, that's a new one. I kind of like it a lot. All right, so the creed consists of 8 objectives: always being ready to die, making good use of my time, developing and maintaining good and sound life principles, cultivating good emotional reactions, performing good actions relative to my values, recognizing my true limits and my true opportunities, operating slowly, doing one thing at a time, and gaining and maintaining a sense of balance in life. Again, all of these 8 objectives. Those are 8 objectives, believe it or not, and they're codified here. The one principle that I'm going to read is the social principle. Let's open the book. I burned myself. The social principle can be found on page 258 of the hardbound edition of Going Alone. The sub principles here are diplomacy, justice, and conspiracy. Social principle has strange sub principles, don't you think? Diplomacy, because it takes diplomacy to operate with others to reach a consensus of sorts about what constitutes reasonable social ends. Justice is the function by which we reconcile our differences and the faults that we apply in life. And conspiracy is what happens when we agree about what constitutes good social ends and we conspire together towards them. And a quote here from Dr. Johnson: society is the true sphere of human virtue. And here's my own writing on the social principle. Human beings generally operate in pursuit of our own well being and the well being of one another. We can survive alone, though we rarely flourish in solitude, and we risk that whatever understanding and wisdom we gain in deep and persistent disconnect may not be easily communicated or translated to others. and may become irrelevant babble, despite perhaps being true. Therefore, find one another and make good effort to be together and share ideas. Go alone at times, but always return to be with others. There's the message of the book, or one of them. I will become a diplomat, and I will become a diplomat and ambassador to not only the familiar, but also the strange and new. I will strive always with others towards sane and just ends. Become a man or woman of one another. Gosh, I remember writing this. I couldn't write this anymore. That season of philosophy has passed. I just, these words that I'm reading right now, my own, I just know I couldn't write again. We will conspire together towards what we perceive and decide is good. These are lofty goals, something I struggle daily to attain. All right, as for today, I'm even though I'm getting really close to having all the documents I need to complete my 2025 taxes in the United States. I have a few more documents I'm waiting for. So today, and I really want to do my taxes today. I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to do it on Wednesday. Today, instead, I'm going to send the gift that I have assembled, the birthday gift for my daughter's boyfriend, Tatsuya. So I got him a nice gift, and Yumiko too. And so I'm gonna pack it and ship it to him today in the afternoon. In the morning, instead, I'm going to spend a lot of time in the garden. I have a full mm, gardening day ahead of me. I've already planned for my lessons for tomorrow, my work lessons. So, I do have a part-time job now, and I work on Tuesdays teaching 2 classes. So I'm all ready for those. So I can throw myself fully into the garden for the day. I'm already wearing my garden gear, as you can see, maybe you can tell. It's not my normal attire. I'm so eager to get in the garden that I'm already dressed for it. Let's go ahead and read comments. Tim, good morning, Tim. Weather check for the UK at 8:33 p.m. is 4.7 degrees Celsius and 97%. Let me guess, it's raining. Percent humidity, a windy, rainy, cold day. Weather warning for heavy rain all day. Wow. Hang in there, Tim. Before we know it, spring will be here, and you'll have warm rain. For me, it looks like it's just above or just below zero out there. Was that right? It's hard to see. Yeah, it's right below zero. Can't tell the humidity. It's too dark. Robert, hi Robert, says hi, hello to myself and Tim, and notes that it's currently 16 degrees Celsius with snow showering. Snow showering. 77% humidity with an air quality index of 26 in Napanee, Ontario, Canada. That's cold. I think you get the prize for the coldest weather report so far in this video series, Robert. Tim says hello to Robert. Elvina, hello, Elvina says hello to myself, Tim, and Robert. But Robert says hello to Elvina. Tim says hi to Elvina. Evelyn, hi Evelyn. Hi Evelyn says hi to myself, Robert, Tim, Elvina. Disappointing snowstorm. All the drama for nothing in New York City. Interesting. Elvina says, weather here this afternoon, negative 11 degrees. Whoa, that's cold. Feels like negative 20. Wow. Very snowy and windy. Wind out of the east off Lake Ontario, gusting up to 50 kilometers per hour with dropping air pressure. Ooh, man, you guys are making me cold. Tim says hello to Evelyn. Robert says hi to Evelyn. Elvina says hello to Evelyn and notes we are just catching the edge of this big storm system, but it's still snowing. I'm hoping school isn't closed tomorrow. We have exams running. Let's cross our fingers. Evelyn says hello to says to Elvina, I'm sure the students feel differently. Tim says, have to say I'm distracting myself from social media and news as it's generally becoming an unhappy world to view. The UK is looking to follow Australia in becoming social media for under 16. Under 16s. Yeah, Tim, points I'll make on that. First is I was so off media since the horror show began, and I basically dropped off all social media, and I haven't attended to my softypapa Facebook page, and I just this morning before earlier I just happened to spot it, and I didn't realize I had like a dozen messages there that I didn't even know were there, from people asking, concerned people asking, where I've been, asking if everything's okay. So I need to continue complete going through that to catch up. But one of the one of the drawbacks of having dropped off social media was I just left people hanging. That wasn't very nice of me. Shouldn't have done that. The second point is with I had a difficult point yesterday, in the midst of the nice day that we were having. There's a lot of tricky stuff going on in the United States, and tricky news. And I had one of those instances where a longtime person, a connection on social media, left and I really, really don't follow social media anymore. I'm not scrolling through Facebook anymore. Just so happened I popped up something because I knew my wife was posting a photo of our outing, and I popped on social media so that I could like my wife's post. And I happened to spot a post from a very long time friend that was, for lack of in, how do I say it? It silenced my mind. Sometimes issues make you realize just how little we have in common with some people in our lives. And it was the type of thing where I was like, man, do I really want to have this person in my life anymore? Are we that different that we see the world so differently that they posted that? You know, it's like, wow, gee, man, go back into my hidey hole, man. Yeah. Okay. Evelyn, no, Elvina says to Evelyn, LOL, although they have worked and studied hard and want this semester to be over before Friday, some are waiting for marks to submit to universities. Right. Evelyn says, good luck to all the students. Tim says, wished I could get into the garden, a lot to do, but with this rain, it's impossible. Hopefully soon. Mm. Tim says, think I would prefer all this rain to those freezing temps. Never thought I'd say that. All right. Well, thanks for joining me every day. Looks like I've got a quick one today. I'm going to. Well, I'm eager. I'm eager to get out into the into the garden. Sorry, Tim. Hat tip to you. You know, hopefully there'll be lots of good garden weather ahead for all of us, for those of us that pursue gardening. And then I have this wonderful bench. I got this wonderful wooden bench that I'm going to add right where the garden looks over the river, where I can sit and admire the river. So thanks everybody for joining me. I wish everybody all the best. Let's have a very good week. Be safe, but not too safe. Thank you, Robert, for your well wishes, and saying goodbye. Ciao to you, Evelyn and Elvina. Have a great week, everyone. Off to shovel some snow. Be careful with that. Don't slip. Tim says, have a great Monday. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.